celebration and victory on election night 2022 at the Greens headquarters in Queensland.
We are on the cusp of, and we already have, transformed Australian politics. Yeah. And it's happening from Greensland.
I think a lot of people would be surprised that Queensland, of all places, which is regarded as one of the most, if not the most conservative state in Australia, would be home to the Greens, would now be the jewel in the Greens crown.
This is what the party's so-called Greensland looks like. 3 inner-city seats along the Brisbane River, all won by the Greens in the last election. In Griffith, the Greens took the seat from Labor. Across the river, the Liberal National Party lost Brisbane. The Greens won Ryan, a seat that was traditionally an LNP stronghold. These seats are shaping up to be key battlefields this election.
This is a really important election for the Greens for a number of reasons. If they lose these 3 seats and Adam Band is the only Greens member left in the House of Representatives, it will really reshape their plans to become a major party and to rival the Labor and LNP.
The stakes are really high for the country. Not only do we get to keep Dutton out, but we maximise the chances of a broad, progressive, power-sharing parliament made up of Greens, Teals and Labor. And that could be transformative for the country.
They're all leafy and upper middle class electorates, lots of white collar workers, lots of degree holders, double degree holders, high income professionals. So these voters are interested in climate change, they're interested in First Nations rights, they're interested in refugees and women's rights, equality.
Self-employed insurance broker Brendan Smallsman has been living in the electorate of Ryan for 15 years. He says he wasn't surprised by the results of the last election.
I could feel there was a little bit of, same old. And so there was probably a bit of, certainly room for change.
He wants more focus on climate change policy and infrastructure in this election.
Environment's a big one for us. I think that they've kind of been sort of maybe pushed to the back a little bit. A lot of talk about, cost of living and energy production and things like that. But certainly environment's very important.
As a swinging voter, he'll make his decision on policy, not party loyalty.
I've been voting for 30 years, so I've not really stuck to one particular party. I traditionally haven't really in the past made up my mind more than a week out from elections. I'm probably leaning a little bit more toward Labor or the Greens, but I guess I'd want to see sort of what comes out over the next couple of weeks, I'd never rule anyone out altogether.
Good boy.
The LNP believe they're in with a real chance of winning Ryan back.
The LNP needs to start looking at least 2 and possibly all 3 of the Brisbane seats, and the most likely to fall will be the seat of Ryan and the seat of Brisbane, which is going to be a genuine 3-way race.
Barrister Maggie Forrest is the LNP's first-time candidate in Ryan.
I think it was really a protest vote in 2022. We didn't have a Teal candidate here, and as I travel across Ryan, people who voted Green at the last election are telling me that they're having buyer's remorse.
Climate change is a big issue in this electorate, along with obviously cost of living. How does Peter Dutton's policies wash with that?
Well, we're committed to net zero by 2050. We're not getting out of the Paris Agreement, and at the moment it's cost of living that people are raising with me the most, and we still have a robust environmental plan that involves getting to net zero by 2050, and people are excited about that, as well as getting the cost of living down.
Over the river in the seat of Griffith, which is held by a bigger margin, incumbent Max Chandler Mather is rallying the troops before heading out to door knock.
The difference will be how hard we can work over the next few weeks. I think a lot of people now recognise that while Dutton wants to take us backward, Labor are only just tinkering around the edges. And if we want change in this country, we need strong independent voices in Parliament pushing Labor to act.
Those promises that you're talking about, you can't deliver in your own right. Is that something that holds you back?
I think people understand that if we want to get rid of negative gearing and the capital gains tax discount for people with more than one investment property, then that's going to take a few election cycles, but we have to start somewhere.
We've knocked over 33,000 doors collectively.
Wow. His Labor opponent, Renee Coffey, believes these seats are key to keeping Labor's majority.
It's really important for the government that we get seats, as many seats as possible across the country, so that we can keep this government and we can keep a majority Labor government. I think that's the main aim for us.
How are you actually going to get those voters back?
They can elect a member here in Griffith that will actually be sitting within the government and influencing policy within the government, influencing decisions within the government. And people are really excited about that prospect.
Uni student Grace and her flatmate Josh rent this house in Griffith.
I'm just working and studying and working and studying, so I find that really difficult. And also just the minimum price point of things is so high, so having to work so much to afford basic things that cost an astronomical amount of money is quite difficult as well.
The most important issues I would say is definitely the environment is a really big thing for me. Housing affordability, especially for young people, like just rent assistance and stuff like that.
Grace and Josh, with one other housemate, pay $750 a week in rent. They will vote for the Greens.
I think they're doing a lot of important work, especially for young people as well, and definitely looking towards the future. That's a big part of my voting.
The final piece of the puzzle in so-called Greensland is Brisbane, held by Stephen Bates. It's a tight race between all three parties and is an electorate with one of the highest cohorts of young people.
That sort of demographic is absolutely crucial to the Green success. It's also the sort of vote that Labor and the LNP are calling as well.
The LNP's former member for Brisbane, Trevor Evans, is trying to win the seat back.
So I think Brisbane's never going to be a safe seat. It's always going to be a key marginal swing seat.
He says all eyes will be on the city on election night.
I think it says everything that on day one of the official campaign in 2025, the leaders of both of the major parties and the leaders of the Greens were broadly here in Brisbane. It speaks to the significance of the contests that we've got here.